All right. As far as the injuries go, Matt Dickerson, his knee swelled up a little bit, but he'll be all right. He just has a swollen knee, so he won't practice today. Everybody else will practice. Jalen Watson will give it a whirl as Nick Bolton will. So both just went through the walkthrough. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Vikings. You know, they've got obviously good players. Kevin does a nice job as the head coach and play caller, and Brian Flores we've gone against several times, and he's very creative, brings people from everywhere, also plays just regular zone and man, but he does have quite a blitz package. Wes Phillips, again, working with Kevin on that offensive side and does a nice job. So along with good skill, and their defensive front is good, as is their offensive front. So anyways, by that time, yours.
Andy, you said, we talked about Pat saying he got greedy in that, with his interceptions and everything. I know you've got different levels on every play, and there's different places to go with the ball, but can you be, guilty of getting maybe greedy with the play calling, and, you got it rocking and rolling, and
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll take the blame first before he's greedy. I mean, he's not. Absolutely, yeah. For you, anything. Surrender.
Coach, I know Pat has always talked about spreading the ball around, but is there a concern with your starting wide receivers? They have a collective total of 22 receptions, 273 yards. That you're not getting the most out of that group right now.
Well, we have a couple young guys that we're kind of bringing along, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. Yeah.
How do you contain a player like Justin Jefferson who can change the play, change the game in one play?
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. You have to cover him. I mean, that's a simple thing to say, but you're aware of him obviously for his skill. So you have to be creative, but most of all, you got to cover the guy. That's the best thing you can do.
What do you see from Sky Moore right now?
Yeah, I like what Sky's doing. We're rotating a bunch of guys in there, so nobody's got an extreme amount of catches on this, but that's just how it's going to be. I mean, we have 6, 7 guys that can play, and so we're putting them all in here and there. But I like what I've seen from him. Yeah, he's doing good.
Hey, with that rotation, when you go back and watch it, do you think you're getting enough open receivers on plays?
Well, I mean, it looked like it. I mean, got a couple 100 yards the first quarter. That wasn't bad. So I think guys were, 400 yards the week before. I mean, somebody's getting open, right?
Coach Reid, Rashee's coming in here in a minute. What have you seen from him in his progression?
Yeah, and I know he had the drop. I got that. But he does a great job of catching the ball and getting upfield. You can see his skill, and again, he's learning the game right now, the NFL game. But you're seeing progress every week. You see something that says, you know what, this guy's not a bad player. So
That's got a big part of it.
Looking at those 2 runs that Pat made on that last drive, I mean, he's been pretty efficient in those kinds of situations over the years. What makes him so good in those situations?
yeah, well, he's got a good feel. Yeah. He has a good feel of the coverage and who's dropping out of there and the time element that's involved with that. And he's smart when he does it. Certain situations, he knows he can do that. Other times, it's not going to be available. So, but he's got a good feel for it.
You mentioned Isaiah had. Go ahead. You mentioned Rice and his ability after the catch, and obviously when teams are dropping back, playing deep in zone, that's an area where Tyreek or other guys have filled in. Are you guys hoping that Rashee can grow into that role, as be a yard after the catch guy in that short passing game, and create some explosive plays?
Yeah. I mean, you saw it the last couple of weeks where he catches, gets himself upfield, gets a couple nice yaks in there. Been doing well in the red zone area, and that's I think will be a positive in his game going forward.
Coach, Isaiah had one of his best statistical
physical games all around, receiving and rushing. How does the young guy parlay that, for the rest of the season?
Yeah, consistency is what you're looking for. Obviously, when people know that you're a good player, they're going to try to do things to stop you. So it's important that the offensive line, tight ends, and he are on the same page, and that they all do their job to make the thing happen. But the one thing you're going to get from him is he's going to go 100 miles an hour, and run hard every time he gets an opportunity, whether he catches it or runs it. He's going hard.
You talked about him 100 miles an hour, but could you see a different level of energy at him being at home?
I know he was excited to be there, but he's always, I know he's excited, but he's always high octane. I mean, he's high octane in practice, so it's all the time.
Coach, you mentioned the man looks from the Jets, and you said you kind of expect the same type of thing, maybe even more from Minnesota, especially with young receivers, young pass catchers. What are some of the coaching points this week?
I didn't catch the first part of it.
You said that you saw a lot of man against the Jets, expect maybe even more this week. What are some of the coaching points for some of the younger pass catchers?
Yeah, well, you got to win versus man. That's what you have to do, and we did a decent job on that against the Jets. So I think with the young guys, they'll just keep getting better at that as we go. Jess did a nice job of blending things, and so does Brian. I mean, he's going to give you a variety of looks, and you just have to be smart with it and how you handle the looks.
Andy, this is a time where obviously you want to see Kadarius Toney sort of grow and progress in the offense. Just do you feel like he's someone that you need to highlight or give more touches to as the season moves on?
Yeah, so I think his foot's feeling better as he goes here, and that's a concern when you have a guy that plays like he does, very, very aggressive. The toe goes on him. I mean, his toe, I told you before, he had a hard time getting his shoe on when he hurt it. So, but just bringing him back slowly, I think it was important to this point, and we'll see how he does this week.
Andy,
Couple more guys.
I see y'all have a light day of practice today. How much does not looking ahead to that Thursday night game, but kind of looking ahead to it? How much does that preparation start the week before? Just on that short week.
Yeah, for next week, you're saying?
Yeah, like how do you string guys along to make sure that they're ready for that short week?
Yeah. Well, we had a late travel. I mean, we got back 4 o'clock in the morning, so or whatever it was, and so it was a late night. So we'll lighten it up today. Still going fast. Just got out a couple plays, and then be ready to go tomorrow. And then it's just a feel. I mean, I just go off of how I feel with it. Yeah.
Coach, just to make sure, the production that you're getting from your wide receivers, you're satisfied with it at the moment. You don't think you may need to bring another player in or whatever to help out with the wide receiving corps?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah.
We'll go last three. We'll start with Todd and work our way over. Gotcha. Good.
With Juwan, didn't have any alignment issues last week, but still a couple penalties. How do you keep his confidence up, but also work with him to clean things up since I think he's already got a career high in 4 games?
Yeah, he's working on it. We'll just keep on it as we go. I mean, that's the only thing you can do is keep working it.
Last two.
Coach Reid, Patrick has a chance to beat Minnesota, the only team he hasn't beaten, obviously, other than the Chiefs. I mean, amazing stat for as long as he's been playing.
Right. Yeah. No, it is, and we got a lot of work to do before we get up there. So, but I think that right now we're just all focused on trying to get things right. But it is an amazing stat for him. Yeah, for sure.
Last one, sir.
Coach, I'm kind of following up on what Steve was talking about with Isaiah, how hard he runs, how physically he runs. Is that a part of the game? Like, does that work like the body blows, of the boxing match? Like, is that something you think enhances your offense and is a necessary part to soften up the other elements of the defense?
Yeah, sure. I think he brings good energy to that group. And I'm including the running backs. I mean, you've seen Hilaire going. I mean, he's running like crazy too, so he's doing a nice job. And McKinnon is, he runs hard likewise. So it's But I think he brings energy to everybody, to the whole offense. I think that's a positive thing. And then it's important that we have the other two guys that you can rotate them in and let them, give them a blow every once in a while.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, good.
All right, guys.
What did you learn about Kirk through the quarterback series? And then it was a different lens to maybe see him through and how he prepared for games. What did you take away from him that?
Yeah, I mean, the mental side of it. I mean, obviously, he's able to really dissect defenses, get the ball to the right spot. You can tell that they put a lot on him to be able to check at the line of scrimmage, which I thought was really cool to see. And then physically, man, I mean, he took a beating last year, but he just came back every time and stood in there and made throws. And so he's a guy that you can tell loves football and loves going out there and competing every single week.
Through 4 games, you're scrambling just a lot more. As you kind of look back at I guess, quarter-ish through the season, what do you think generally has led to some of that?
Yeah, I'd probably just say more coverage. Haven't had a lot of pressure yet. I mean, obviously, probably will get some more this week. And so they're playing a lot more coverage, dropping deep into coverages, and so it's open lanes for me to scramble. That's something that I've always done. Just usually happens later in the season more than early. So just trying to do whatever I can to go out there and win.
You were talking about your speed after the game the other night. You ever look at a guy like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, one of the running quarterbacks, and say, I wish I had that kind of, I wish I could run like that guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody does. But I think what makes those dudes so great is they can throw the football too. And so I just got to be able to throw the football, and then whenever the opportunity comes, just get enough yards to keep the chains moving.
But you've been really efficient running in those kinds of situations, doing what needed to be done. What goes into that? Like, how do you attribute that?
I think it's just being a competitor. I'm just trying to move the chains, and obviously I want to throw for it. I want to make the throws, but when the opportunity arises, just if I'm going to take it, make sure I go get the first down. And so that's just something you get to balance throughout an NFL season is when to run for it and when to slide and when to throw the football and try to find ways to win games.
When you looked at the tape, what jumped out? You didn't look like yourself at times throwing the football as a fan, just watching. What jumped out on the tape?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play very well. It happens. Two of the interceptions just underthrew by 5 to 10 yards, and missed some opportunities throughout the game. And so I just got to put us in better positions and making better decisions so that the guys can go out there and work for me and make plays down the field.
Patrick, I know I've mentioned this before about your connection with some of your receivers, but when you look at your starting receivers like Tony, MVS, and more, they combined 22 catches, 273 yards for the season thus far. Is there anything that they're not doing, or that you're seeing, or that you're not doing, that their production value may go up some?
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't played very, very good to start the season, so I think if I start playing better, everybody will start playing better.
Early, we've seen you come back from early deficits, but generally speaking, is there any sort of snowball effect you feel like that? You feel like you're not playing your best? Does it factor at all?
I don't think it can. I mean, I think you just have to go out there and keep shooting it down the field. I mean, that's how I've always been wired. You just come in every single day and work and try to continue to get better. Usually that stuff kind of figures itself out. And I've had spots like this throughout my career where haven't had the best few weeks in a row, and so I have to make sure that I just can go back to the fundamentals and try to be better for the team, and then rely on other guys to make plays. And I think that's somewhere where I can be better. It's just getting the ball out of my hand and letting these other guys make plays, kind of like what I did at the end of the game a little bit more.
You said fundamentals. Is that footwork until it looked like you might throw the ball after that first interception? Is that the footwork?
Yeah, I mean, I rely on my arm a lot sometimes, and obviously on the first interception, I kind of faded, both of them really. I faded away from the throw instead of just stepping into it and make the throw. And so that's just myself, just going back to the fundamentals of stuff. Is when it's not necessarily coming out of your hand the best way, you have to go back to your fundamentals and get that stuff down before you can try the side arms and the fadeaway throws and stuff like that.
We'll talk to Rashee in a second. What are some of the things that you've seen in ways that he's kind of come along as the season has gone on?
Yeah, man, he's just learning. He has all the talent in the world. He's just learning how to read coverages, how to be in the progression of this offense. And I think y'all see how talented he is once he makes the catch, and he's moving down the field. And so he's a tough physical runner. He's explosive. I think as the season goes on, he'll continue to get better and better.
Patrick, what are you seeing from Sky right now?
Yeah, I mean he's the same thing, man. A lot of young guys that are learning as they go. Sky has a lot of talent. He's done a great job of getting better, even from last year and throughout this season. And I think it's just we're going to keep finding a way of this offense. And like I said, I think if I play better and throw some of those passes, I'm at the right time in the right spot. It'll let these guys go out there and make plays.
Patrick, what do you expect from the Vikings defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a well-coached defense. Coach Flores, I've played a couple of times, him as a head coach, him as some coordinators in all different positions. They're very well coached. They're very well of knowing the scheme and being in the right spots. They do a good mix of pressure and dropping out of pressure and try to make it look the same. And so it'll be a great challenge for us. And we'll have to execute at a high level in order to have success this weekend.
Minnesota is one of the teams that you haven't beat. Obviously, you haven't played them. Is that something on your checklist to beat every team?
I mean, I just want to win every week. I mean, it's not necessarily like beating this team because I haven't played them or anything like that. I just try to go in with the mentality week in and week out of just finding a way to win that game. We did that last week, and now let's try to find a way to win against a really good football team this week.
Patrick used the term greedy the other day, and it seems like the vast majority of the time that's your judgment is exactly what you want it to be. I wonder if you could describe, though, how that's a constant work in progress to have the right gauge of it.
Yeah, no, it's something that I have to continue to get better and better at throughout my career. I mean, sometimes when stuff maybe not going as well, or if I want to kind of get that deep shot going, I'll try to force it. Whereas there's just times where I got to just throw the ball away or take the check down, and it goes against my nature. But it's something that you have to do at this quarterback position in order to have success. And obviously, I made 2 throws in the game where I got really 3 throws. If you count the one to MVS on the 3rd and long that I really got greedy and try to throw it down the field. Instead of just taking the underneath stuff. And so that's just stuff that I have to manage because I want to still have that aggressive nature, but at the same time, take what's there.
And it's still just something your whole career you'll have to kind of keep recalibrating? Is that
Yeah,
how it works?
yeah. I think that a lot of the great quarterbacks. I mean, you saw Tom even last year. I mean, he was throwing the ball down the field. You want to attack down the field because it makes defenses have to account for that. And you never want to be stuck throwing the check downs underneath every single time because that's when you can really condense the offense. And we take pride of being able to stretch it vertically and horizontally. And so that'll be something that I'll manage throughout my career.
We'll go Todd, Saran, and then Steve to close it out.
Pat, I was hoping you could speak to 2 things. One, I know you appreciate elite guys, so just Justin Jefferson, how good is he? And then if you could just, I know that you guys announced the partnership with Boys and Girls Club today. If you could speak to that.
Yeah, no. First off, Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's great. I think it's talent, being able to recognize coverages, and I think what people really don't understand is how physical he is catching the football. If you watch the games, man, I mean, he'll go up there and get it. He'll put his body on the line. You can tell he loves competing. He loves winning. And so I think that's what makes a lot of great players in this league, and that's why he's had so much success so early in his career. And then the partnership with Boys and Girls Club. I mean, it's something where, I mean, I remember practicing basketball at Boys and Girls Clubs growing up, and how fun that was, and how many great experiences I got to meet people and opportunities I got to play sports that I loved. And so I thought it was a great idea whenever they brought it to me to be able to partner with the Boys and Girls Clubs in the Kansas and Missouri, Lubbock, Texas, Tyler, Texas, White House, Texas, all the areas that I grew up in, and try to give those same opportunities to kids. And I think that fit perfectly with my 15 and Mahomes Foundation.
Saran?
Patrick, a couple sidebars. I know on the field, I think you said you're not really interested in the records. They asked you about the 200 touchdown. But you moved one in front of Alex Smith. I'm curious if he called you, if you knew that he was at 199 and that passed him.
I did not know that. He didn't call me, but no, that was, I love Alex, man. So maybe I'll text him now, I guess, now that I know.
And then, listen, I'm not second guessing. We know why you slid down to end the game and everything, but does anybody come up to you, like betting fans really took note of that? That would have put the cover together. So I'm curious, do people call you? Do people buzz you? And say,
I think anyone that has my phone number knows better than call me about something like that.
Steve?
Patrick, you talked about Isaiah post-game, but just looking at the film and seeing statistically he had one of his best games, what do you see from him going forward as he put that game into the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think that's what makes this team so great, and it's a great job by Brett Veach and Coach Reid of bringing in great players. Is even when I'm not playing my best, we got guys like Isaiah who can dominate the run game. We got an offensive line that can block the run game. We got a defense that can play great defense throughout the first 4 games of the year. And so it's not all on my shoulders to go out there and win the football game. I can just rely on my teammates to do stuff. And so Throughout that game, the last game, I mean, Isaiah was working, and even though we might have some of those RPO advantage throws, whatever you want to call them, it's like, man, let's just give this man the football and let him go. He accepted the challenge. And that's what makes this team great. Like I said, is that it's not just me; it's everybody. And I think now we're really seeing that as these first 4 weeks have kind of went through.
And Coach mentioned consistency. How hard is it for a young guy to be consistent?
Yeah, I mean, if I've ever seen a young guy be consistent as that guy, I mean, it's like you have to calm him down because he wants to go as hard as he can every single play, and that's what the great ones do. And I mean, I don't know if y'all saw, like, he scored a touchdown, but I don't know if his feet ever landed in the touchdown because he, like, jumped all the way. I mean, that's his energy every single day, and just as much in the locker room, in the meeting room, and then on the practice field and on game days. And so I don't think we have to worry about him being consistent.
Go ahead for Mike. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Talk to me about the Vikings. You know, we saw a little bit of insight on Kirk Cousins when we watched Netflix, and everybody in the world here watched it. But what do you expect from him, his competitiveness, and of course Jefferson?
Yeah, like you said, he's a true competitor. He's been playing in the league for a long time. He's a real vet out there. And we know he likes to give his playmakers the ball. He has playmakers all over the field. You mentioned Justin Jefferson. He's one of the best receivers in the game right now. So we got to take away his explosive plays. We know what he likes to do. Got to stop him yards after catch. And then the receivers and playmakers he has around him. You have T.J. Hawkinson, a great tight end, like to give him the ball. He's a good playmaker. Jordan Addison, a rookie. He real explosive, real fast. So just guys like that all over the field, got to take them away and just limit their explosive plays.
But how do you take Jefferson out of the equation as far as getting those yards after a catch? He seems to be able to do it regardless.
Yeah, I mean,
How do you stop that?
he's a good player. I mean, you just got to hone on tackling and swarming, having all 11 guys to the football, running to the football, and swarming to the football because, like you said, a guy like that is hard to bring down, it's hard to stop. But we have to practice on it in practice and harp on it, and like I said, getting all 11 guys to the ball.
What's Dave Barrett like as a position coach?
He's a great guy. I mean, he's not even talking about like football. He's talking about life and everything, what you need as to talk about secondary. You know, secondary has to be a tight knit group. So he's a good coach. Explains everything pretty well, and I try to get everybody on the same page. In Tampa, when I was in Tampa, we had a safeties and corners room. Here, I like how we have like a whole DB room, which is better. So I really like how he's taking on the leadership and trying to explain everything to us and get us on the right path.
Mike, you mentioned Tampa days. You've been in the league a long time. When you're facing an elite receiver like Justin Jefferson, how important is it for the mental game of like, okay, he's going to get me, but just come back the next play?
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. Like I say, he's one of the best receivers in the game. So it's hard to stop him play after play. But like I said, we have everybody come swarming to the ball and try to limit the explosive plays. I mean, if you get a 5-yard catch, you can't turn a 5-yard until 60 yards, you know what I mean? So just try to, like I said, to stop the explosive gains and be good.
Mike, I have
I'm sorry, speaking of long plays, I want to get your thoughts on a play by one of your teammates Sunday, and that was Brian Cook's tackle on Breece Hall at midfield. Can you just tell me, what did you see and how did you appreciate that play?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody appreciates. I heard a lot of people come up to him after the game, told him how big of a play that was. But I told him right after the play, I said, dude, that's a big play. I mean, that definitely doesn't go unnoticed. And you saved the game. I told him, look at the score. The score would not be what it is right now if it wasn't for you. So, and people don't realize how hard that tackle is. I mean, it might go down like, oh, he just tackled him. But no, he has a whole field and just the blocker in front of him and everything, and that's real tough, especially with a running back like Breece Hall. Is a great runner, so definitely a big play.
Mike, I shared in training camp about being Todd Bowles system and how that correlates with being in SPAG system.
Mhm.
You're 4 games in. How comfortable are you now, and are you able to play free?
Yeah, definitely more comfortable, way more comfortable. It's a complicated defense, but as I expected to come in here when I signed here, I knew it would be complicated and challenging. But I took on that role and really accepted it. And Spags is a great coach, a great defense coordinator. He knows exactly what he's doing out there. But yeah, from camp until now, it's light years away. Definitely better now for me.
Mike, to follow up on what Blair was asking about the tackle, this has been a good tackling secondary for a while. I mean, that's something they take pride in. Is it? You mentioned kind of some of the differences between Kansas City and Tampa. Is there a difference? Did they preach it more, or is it more they've got a group of guys that you all they put more of an emphasis on finding guys that can tackle?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of about the same, I guess. Spags do a good job of harping on tackling, wrapping up, getting the guy to the ground, however it may be. But yeah, we harp on that a lot, especially the secondary, because we're the last line of defense. So we really definitely harp on tackling, getting off the blocks, block shed and everything, and just getting the guys to the ground, because that's a big part of the defense.
And then kind of the flip side, we watch Isaiah run, and he runs hard. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to tackle him, right? Like, how much does it happen to tackle a guy like that when you come up against backs that are physical like he is? How much does that maybe wear you out, take you out of your game? How much can it soften up a secondary when you have a hammer like that?
Yeah, it can, but it's more so like mental and everything. Like you say, he's a tough runner. Like a guy like Pac, tackle him all game, and you don't want that. But you want more like D linemen to tackle guys like that. But it's like I said, more like a mental thing. More so like want to, I guess. So just gotta do what you gotta do.
Mike, talking about Jefferson and Hawkinson, sometimes I think Addison might get lost in that conversation. He's a rookie, but what makes him unique, a unique challenge for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, don't really have a lot of film on him except for college and the 4 games he played against him. But he's definitely a speedy receiver, kind of light, not really big, but he definitely gets out of his routes pretty well. And like I said, he's a good deep threat guy. I've seen him go over the top of a few times in the past 4 weeks. So he had a few touchdowns on a big play. So definitely got to stop him on that and not let it go over our heads.
Being with other teams, you mentioned they split up the cornerbacks and the safeties. Talking to Trent McDuffie, talking to Justin Reid, they really value the friendships, the away from the field activities, going to each other's house, doing different things. Is there something unique? Because you guys are like in perfect motion of swarming and tackling and reading each other. Is there something off the field that is a little different helping you on the field?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you have to be a real tight group in the secondary. I feel like offensive line and the DBs have to be a real close group of guys because you have to talk. You have to be on the same page because, I mean, as a secondary, if one person's off, and then it'd be a touchdown. You know what I mean? So we always try to have a DB dinner on Thursdays or hang out at each other's house, like you said, do something off the field, which builds our chemistry up. So, we have each other back. If somebody misses a play, misses a tackle or anything, we know we have each other back and just keep each other up.
But is that more here than any other places you've been?
Yeah, I only been in Tampa, but I mean, like I said, I feel like every group of guys, especially DBs, have to stay close. So we had a good group, tight group in Tampa as well. But I definitely like this group. I definitely feel comfortable in where we're going, and it's a young group. It's a young group, so we all around the same age or whatever. So I feel like we really bonded pretty well and building our chemistry up.
Thank you. Last one, anybody? Okay, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, guys, go for Rashee.
Hello, Rashee Rice.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm well.
Talk to me a little bit about the Minnesota Vikings defense. When you're studying film, looking at them, are they any different than anything that you've come up against so far this season?
I would say that they're not necessarily too much different than other defenses, but a lot of NFL defense they're really good at trying to disguise what they're actually going to run. So it just kind of forces our offense to use a lot of motions and stuff so that we can get a tail on the defense.
What's just the progression for you individually of learning what defenses are doing in the moment, after the snap, and trying to gauge what the way a defense is trying to guard you?
A lot of that for me comes from, honestly, Trav helps me out with that a lot in practice, and then we get good looks out there. And my first tells are obviously when we motion, if the defensive guys stay with a certain specific player or not, and then the leverage that an outside defender has as far as the cornerback and the safeties. So.
When you say Travis helps you, just mean after a play, he might say something to you?
Yeah. Right after a play, he'll be he'll give me the courage, good job on that play. But it's always something else that I can add that will help me improve my game on the field when it comes to game day.
There's a lot of talk about the kind of unspoken chemistry between Patrick and Travis. And Patrick even said, I think earlier this year, it was kind of towards the end of year 2, the 2019 season, that it kind of connected. Do you see it on film? Do you, does that kind of pop off the screen at you? Do you like, oh wait, he was supposed to run it this way and broke it off? Is that one of the kind of nuances that is maybe the next step in your career?
Yeah, I mean, as I get the offense down, I'm pretty sure that'll come in my game. Right now, I'm just trying to do exactly what I'm supposed to do. I think Trav's really good at doing that because he's been in the offense for so long. And him and Pat are on that same type of page just because Pat knows exactly what he wants. And basically, Travis thinking the same thing Pat's thinking. So he knows where Pat wants him to be on a specific play. So sometimes he has the leverage to, do what he has to do just to get open.
So you mentioned get the offense down. A lot of young players say that they can't, of course, play free because they're thinking, hey, well, I got to line up, what the check is, all that. Do you feel that way?
Not necessarily. As far as when I say I get the offense down, I feel like I have the offense down. It's just that when you got vets around you that's been doing it for so long, there's always something that you can constantly key in on and just make your game better as far as, any play or as far as reading the defense.
There's a phrase in sports, be quick but don't hurry, right? Like you want to play as fast as you can but not be out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Is that maybe something you're battling right now? I mean, the guys talk about the speed of the game goes up when you come to this level, and there's kind of that balance you got to find with hurrying versus being as quick as you can be.
I think, me personally, I wanted to have an impact in the offense as soon as I could. So during the preseason, honestly, in practice, we kind of started that fast pace. So during the preseason, it just kind of got me ready, got my nerves out the way, got me out of the way of being in a rush instead of just being calm and playing fast. So when the regular season got here, I was just ready for my moment.
How do you feel your rapport is with Patrick? I mean, not rapport and getting along or anything, but do you have that second insight of where you need to be, especially when he's in trouble? And, have you gotten to that level yet with him where you don't need to say anything, the feel is there?
Honestly, I think a lot of us are at that level. It's just we have a great quarterback that can get out of the pocket, and he can always do something amazing when the ball's in his hands. So if you're available and you're in his eyesight, all you got to do is watch the ball in and make the play.
You mentioned you have the playbook down as far as knowing all the positions. Just when it comes to the intricacies, where are you? Do you think in that part of it?
I feel like every day I'm learning, but at the same time, when it comes to me having to know a specific play or know the playbook for the week, I won't have any doubt in my game.
Last one here.
What do you feel like you need to work on? Route running, getting out of breaks to make you more comfortable in the offense and more of a contributor?
I feel like I can work on watching the ball in. I can work on my game every day. Every time we're in practice, we're working on our game. So we're never to the point where we feel like we're completed. We just want to keep working and getting better.
Thanks, Rashee. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rashee.
Thank you.